What's up? What's up? What's up? My name is Monty Rock. You're going to do another welcome back to Baselands. I know I did a video yesterday or the day before. I'm about to go do another one. Yesterday I did something about internet racism. Thanks for the people who watched it. Right now, I decided to go do a little video right quick before I start doing music. And there's a lot of things I've been doing that I should do a little bit better at in light of my situation. You know, I said I'm unemployed. Actually, I'm not unemployed in the sense that, you know, because I am a musician, you know, a techno electronic musician. And and I still have a goal to accomplish. So even though I don't have any external money coming in, that doesn't mean I can't work until I'm not able to. So, you know, got up this morning just like I would, get ready to go to work, you know, and at a different, you know, regular job, you know, did the shower, ate and all that stuff, and now, you know, and then check the Facebook, because yes, I'm a Facebook addict. And while I was doing this stuff, I was like, okay, I could, you know, do a video and I could do things a lot different. You know, one of the things is church. I need to go to church. My girl's been going to church, and since she's been going to church, things, you know, while it didn't change the situation much, I do see a change in her, which, you know, I'm not saying I'm not a Christian or anything. You know, there's a difference between being religious and being a Christian. You know, and being a Christian doesn't really entail you being holier than thou. The last place I stayed at, this guy was trying to perpetrate that, but then on the other hand, he's doing certain things, not so much quote unquote sinful things, but things that kind of betray what he does. And rather than for me to just, you know, proclaim and be a Bible thumper like a lot of these pseudo Christians have been doing lately, especially in the media, the best thing to do. My mother was in the military, and when she was a drill sergeant and a first sergeant, there's one thing that she's always said that stuck with me, and it is true. You gotta lead by example, because people watch you more than they hear you. If they see you doing what you're saying, then they have more respect for you. But if you say stuff and not do anything, then you're labeled as a hypocrite or lazy or whatever, and nobody will listen to what you're saying. So that's one thing, one of many things I'm grateful for my mother for. Right now, music-wise, I've got some of the tracks I was kind of, you know, started on over the past few days. No, they're not finished, but it's just something works in progress. If I feel like they suit the thing for the album, I'll go finish it up. If not, I'll still finish it up later afterwards. In this album, I'm doing a lot of things different. Some people might think I'm putting too many different genres, but it's underlying the whole thing. I haven't left bass music, but I've never been with bass music in a traditional sense. I like to do different things. See, I like to bring my other influences in music along with me. And since I'm not young, you know, I'm 38 doing this, that means I've had roughly 20 years or so listen to music, or longer than that, listen to different genres of music, and actually bass music, along the grand scheme of things, has only came in, I would say lately, say within the past 20 years. You know, I had joked around on a board I used to go to and say November 1991 was the 20th anniversary of me being introduced to bass music. And the track that I fell in love with was DJ Magic Mike's Feel the Bass 3. Okay? Though I like Feel the Bass Again better, because the production style, how everything's set, that was a bigger influence, but that was my first one. But then, between that time, I started listening to trip hop, and then electronica, and then when I heard Goldie for the first time, my mind was blown, because it was the speed of the drums and all that. Of course, there's always been critics, but that ended up being a little bit more of an influence than bass music. Though I love bass music to listen to and blast in my system. Got a lot of crazy memories of me doing that when I used to roll through Hilltop and the East Side and all that stuff. That was cool back in the day. But since those days are long gone, and with the advent of the internet, I've had more of a history, in relations to how bass music came out, which is cool. And so, but then for me, it was like, yeah, that's cool, but what about you bring other elements into it to make it grow? So then, I mean, take it for instance. I use Mom's again because, she likes jazz. And because of her like jazz, I got hooked up on Ronnie Laws. And then Mr. Nice Guy is like the all-time favorite album, period. I have worn the original album out so much that I had to end up getting 2 different copies. Okay? Because there's one song in particular, Big Stars, that showed me how to loop with a tape recorder, with a tape deck, and just moving that stuff over. It gave me a chance to hear of music, of how to loop it, to kind of close the gaps. Now, mind you, I didn't have equipment, fancy sampling equipment. I just looped it. That one time, I had a 30-minute extended mix. It covered up a complete side of a 60-minute tape of Big Stars. But I could do better, and I will do another 30-minute one. But I got to be really in the mood for it. And since how I'm doing it this time, since I'm looking at it, I can give a, But the whole point is, that's an influence. Jazz, even some classical, even some country, even some heavy metal. So I'm not completely closed up into it. I check the lyrics though. And unfortunately, I don't listen to a lot of hip-hop these days, because if they have to keep on saying the N-word, if they have to keep on cursing because they don't have a better vocabulary, then I can't deal with it. Even if they had some cool beats, I'll always listen to the lyrics, because that's how that's how a lot of things seem like to work. It's not all obvious. It's subtle. If you have an idea, and if you can't articulate it to the best of our ability, try to improve yourself by learning some new words. I'm not saying be the best you can be, because everybody who wants to rhyme, if they all say the MF word, the N word, really? Seriously? You gotta do better than that. And I see a lot of people doing it. And there's even people in the main, quote unquote, doing hip hop, not hip hop, but hip hop, doing that same thing. And so a lot of things that influence me in some of my tracks doesn't really vibe with the traditional bass music. Well, Miami bass. That's how come I never said Miami bass. I never say Miami bass because, one, I'm not from Miami. Two, I don't really do a lot of that style. I do my own style. And because I do my own style, I call it either alternative bass, or if I'm doing Hindi bass, or I'm doing arcade, or whatever, I name it that because that's what it is. And then as for the theme, Monty's theme part 1 and 2, the original name was CPU Killer Monty's theme, because the initial track, the initial two-part track / whatever, have been done on my on an older computer. I mean, my computer ain't exactly new either, but this program I was using is called Tuna Fish from Bram Brothers, BRAM Brothers, BOW, Bam Bros. Okay, now they're no longer working on it. I wish they did, because basically what they should do is they should have merged a lot of the features from the Touareg 2.5 with Tuna Fish, because Touareg 2.5 was good at the time, really good. Unfortunately, there was no VST support for it. Tuna Fish has VST support, but since it's old, it's very rudimentary in comparison to like FL Studio, which I use, and Cubase. I've been using FL Studio for a lot of the composition, a lot of the arrangements, because the step sequencer is cool, and actually I can do certain things better. But however, when it comes to actually recording MIDI, especially on my computer, it's been Tuna Fish. I can actually hit a key and it'll actually come up on time. Boom, boom, boom. The reason why I don't use it nearly as much, because one, I can only use 3 VST plugins per channel, and then on top of, and also on the stereo, the out stereo. Unfortunately, the bad thing with it too is you grab a certain VST and it's a CPU killer, and it doesn't handle CPU killers all that well. Shoot, I use some CPU killers on some of my tracks on FL Studio, and because of my computer, it just ripped it. So it took longer, and then I had to give up on part of the stuff, and then it just alternated the whole thing. So yes, I do need a new computer, but like a lot of stuff, I don't have any money for it. So I just got to make do with what I got. But as Mark McMillan said when I met him a couple of years ago, well, almost a couple of years ago, it's been a couple of years ago. Yeah, 2009. That at the end of the day is whether or not the song sounds good. Okay, whether the music is good or not. It doesn't matter if you use some archaic program. As long as it sounds good, it's cool. Now, that means you're facing an industry that always wants to get the highest, the newest bells and whistles with the maximum amount of cash. But these days, not a lot of people can afford that now. And I'll discuss this later. And that's what's part of the downfall of the major label in major mainstream music industry, is partially because of that. You have a lot of developers. Yes, they have nice sounding music, but then it's come to the point where you don't have to be an engineer. Okay, that's important. Your ears and your creativity is the best thing. But see, as an electronic artist, you got to have some knowledge of engineering, because if you want a certain effect that you can't do on USB keyboard / whatever you use, not down on anybody, you need to have kind of creativity, some knowledge of what you're doing. So why I don't get, ask people to master or mix my stuff is because basically if I have a vision and if I have the knowledge to do it, I'm going to practice my knowledge on it. Now, and if more people are doing this at home that actually know what a compressor does, the ratios where it differentiates between the ratio that differentiates between a compressor and a limiter, de-esser, all that stuff. If you know how to use that stuff, you don't need to go to an engineer to get it done. You're gonna have to practice, no doubt. But that means the biggest instrument to have for that is your ears and your brain, okay? And then also acknowledge that everything's gonna sound different depending on which speakers you have. I use my Sennheiser studio thing I got from school. Well, because one cost over $200, and yes, it might be pennies for people that've been in the game. But as for somebody that don't have money, that's great. I've got an older set of headphones right here. Let me get this out. These suckers I had found on, out of all places, Goodwill in Auburn. Good ones. Yeah, they kind of look worn, but you know, they got little foam right here. I haven't used it much because of the jack. I gotta go to like Radio Shack or someplace like that to get it. Let me fix this right quick. There you go. The fix, you know. But once I get some decent, well, once I get any money, period, I would get a small adapter and kind of differentiate, because you got to have, the rule is to have different listening sources as possible. But if you follow the general guidelines of how to really master and mix, it kind of depends on the genre. I do bass music, so yes, you know, I have to pay attention to the low end, make sure it's not too muddy and low end. I'm not talking about, 50 hertz. I'm talking about like 30 hertz, 20 hertz, 10 hertz, whatever. It's kind of hard to do it when I have my, the low end range on my Sennheiser is only 30 hertz. However, if you've been doing bass music a while and train your ears, because you do bass music, you can kind of hit below. It kind of goes a little bit below 30 hertz, but it's safer to just say 30 hertz rather than stake a possible claim that people might want to try to be too happy and try to claim it's not true. They got this one set of headphones that I really want to have. This costs like, oh geez, like $1,200, but the range is from 16 hertz to like 4,000 kilohertz. No, 40 kilohertz. Okay, not 40,000 kilohertz. That's 40,000 hertz. All right, so people don't jump on me because slipped up. But anyway, so I was going to talk about a whole bunch of other stuff about church and pseudo-Christians and all that stuff, but you know what? I'm not even going to bother. I've got to get my mind in the mood for music, and hopefully some of the partial tracks that you've been hearing in the background make it to the album. It's going to be very different. I'm pushing more. I've got some bass tracks and stuff and some hybrid stuff, and I think I'll and a Hindi bass track on it, because I haven't really done a good one until I started doing this other side project, which is temporarily on hold now because life happens. So let me get started. It's one thing. Keep doing what you're doing. To the millions of people out there that's really struggling, especially this Christmas. I'll do another one later because there's some things I saw in this one Cairo TV news report where this lady said, I had to shake my head and figure and maybe realize that people are training their kids to be more materialistic for expectations for something. If money's tight, and they gotta have to be sit down and explain. Kids aren't stupid, but it's how you raise them to be more responsible and to let them know how things are in the real world, because that's how it is. So, but in any case, I digress. I'm gonna go ahead and start working on this music. If you got any questions, comments, whatever, you can always come to my page. Please subscribe to my page. I need some views. I'll put some more music up. What I'm doing, I can do that, no problem. I need your feedback. So, and also, if you're on Facebook, look up, Basslands, the official fan page of Monty Rock, the ultimate bass technician. That's me. Check that out. Please like that. I need more, need more people so I can, give you guys some special things. I might try to do something special if I could. I don't have a backing of a major label or a minor one for that matter. So everything I'm doing with all I can, with all the resources that I have, and with the love I have to do what I do. So please support me. This is the tracks on Spotify. I'd rather have you buy them, but just to get, just to let you know what I'm doing, I'm able to settle for that. Just something, I'm not begging, I'm just saying though. So in the meantime, God bless. God loves you. So do I. Be good. Peace out.